Cassie and Diddy meeting in 2005 when she was 19 and Diddy was 37 years old. He lured her into a fast, drug-fueled lifestyle, and he was almost 2 decades her senior. Now he wanted complete control over her personal life while providing her all the avenues of success as an inspiring artist. Now, she said Diddy would go into these violent rages when he would beat her savagely. Now, his staff and employees witnessed this, but with him being Diddy, no one really spoke up on her behalf. After the abuse, he hid her and showered her with gifts, which is typical for a serial abuser. Now, Diddy constantly reminded her that he could do harm to her by requiring her to carry a gun in her purse or by him blowing up the car of a musician that was romantically interested in her. He was abusive sexually, physically, and often made her have unwanted sex with male sex workers. She repeatedly tried to break free from him, but his control over her life was suffocating. Despite attempts to hide, his extensive connections always led her back to him. Even when she thought she escaped, he assaulted her at her home. Now, even though she's gone, the trauma persists, requiring extensive medical and psychological care. Cassie seeks justice for the lost decade of her life filled with threats, drug abuse, physical and psychological torment, and sexual exploitation. Miss Ventura seeks injunctive, declaratory, and monetary relief under federal sex trafficking laws. Cassie signed a 10-year deal with Bad Boys in 2006 after Diddy heard her club single. Initially naive, she saw Diddy as a father figure, but he grew controlling. Despite Cassie's relationship and Diddy's involvement with Kim Porter, he pursued her. At her 21st birthday, he forcibly kissed her in a bathroom. In 2007, fearing loss of her deal, she agreed to go out with him. He gave her a pill, later revealed as ecstasy, marking her first high. Refusing further drugs, she feared displeasing him and losing her career. Next thing she knew, she was in a full-on relationship with Diddy. He spent money on cars, apartments, clothing, everything she wanted, she had. Now, Diddy bought apartments right down the street from the homes that he was at. He bought an apartment in Los Angeles as well as New York, but this was so he could control her. He introduced her to a drug-filled lifestyle that kept her complacent and compliant. Diddy, reliant on prescribed pain pills, pushed her to obtain more in her name when he ran out. He demanded access to every aspect of her life, even her medical records. Her memory loss, likely from drugs and head injuries inflicted by him, led to an MRI, which he also received. He insisted she call him Pop Pop, mirroring her grandfather. In a fit of rage during drug use, he armed himself upon hearing Suge Knight was nearby, but his aggressive actions amounted to nothing. In 2009, when discussing her career with a manager, Diddy flew into a rage and assaulted her, stomping her face. Despite trying to flee, she was cornered and further attacked. Over time, she felt powerless, complying with his demands out of fear. He likened their relationship to Bobby and Whitney's and expressed a disturbing fantasy. Inviting a male sex worker, they engaged in drug-fueled acts directed by Diddy. Now, Cassie was instructed to go on websites and different escort services to find these men, and Diddy instructed her to find ones with big black penis. Now, during these occasions, Cassie was given cocaine, ecstasy, ketamine, marijuana, alcohol, and it actually helped her to disassociate herself during these hard encounters. Now, he would record these acts on his phone and his laptop, and she would go behind him and delete them and thought that she was done. In 2015, during her birthday dinner, Diddy pressured her into leaving for an FO, forcing her out and coercing her into performing sexual acts with a male sex worker at a hotel. Returning, both she and Diddy were high. He later frightened her friends by dangling one of them over a balcony. Despite attempts to leave, his network consistently brought her back. Now, she managed to make it downstairs to the lobby, and she quickly ran out and hailed a cab. Then she started realizing this man is really going to be upset with me, and things are only going to get worse. So she attempted to go back. When she went back, the hotel staff was like, "Look, we saw the cameras, we saw everything that happened. Get back into the cab and go ahead and leave." So she ended up leaving. They are saying that Diddy paid the hotel $50,000 just for that security footage. So it shows you money can get you a lot more than what you thought. Now, she went to go stay with one of her friends in Florida, and James Cruz, who was the president of Bad Boy Management, tracked her down and told her that her single would not come out if she did not call Diddy's phone. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out and also gave her the same ultimatum, letting her know that her record would not come out if she did not contact Mr. Combs. He also had one of his attorneys contact her, and that lawyer told her that it was in her best interest to call Mr. Combs back. Each time she tried to run away from him, he had a powerful network of associates and friends and workers who would contact her and let her know, "You need to go back," and force her back. During this time, she's lost family and friends as Diddy's abuse extended to those around her. Feeling isolated, she reached a breaking point in September 2018, planning to end things after a dinner in Malibu. She ended up moving away, she gave him back the car that he had given her, she got her own place. But in early 2019, her home address was revealed online, and this led to her fearing for her safety, and she thought that he would be able to find her since she was under immense duress. Now, she was finally able to get away, and she credits her children as the reason why she was able to get a new lease on life. However, during her first few months of her pregnancies, she said that she was still going through the struggles of her addiction to alcohol and drugs. Without those vices, she started to have horrific nightmares at night, thinking about the sexual acts he would get her to do, the beatings, and all of that. She checked herself into an inpatient treatment at a rehabilitation center, and during that time, she was required to do intensive therapy and other medical care to recover from Mr. Combs' abuse. She is asking for a money judgment for mental pain and anguish and severe emotional distress, according to proof. She's also asking for punitive and exemplary damages, according to proof, and also her attorney fees and cost. Diddy's attorney is speaking on his behalf, and Diddy is denying it all. He said it didn't happen, he's not admitting to it. They're just going to have to go to trial, and we're going to have to see how this all works out. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything going on with Diddy and Cassie? And what do you think is going to happen now that Cassie has come forward and is putting up this $30 million lawsuit?